What's up, YouTube friends? So today I'm going to show you how to make these Scrappy scrubbers. This is a great stash buster project. I think these would make a great gift for any of the holidays coming up, little stocking stuffers, or just an all-around useful gift that anybody could use. Now you could use any print that you want for the top, and to give it that extra scrubbing power, I use burlap. They're really fast and easy to whip up, and I'll show you how to do it next. The things you'll need to make these Scrappy scrubbers are some burlap. Now this will give it that extra scrubbing power that sometimes we need in those dirtiest of dishes. You're also going to need some sort of batting material. And like I said, this is a perfect scrap buster project. So I dug through my scrap box. Here I have some plain white fleece. Right here I have some flannel. I also have some scrap pieces of batting. I believe this is cotton and bamboo. You could use a cotton poly blend, but I would stay away from the 100% polyester. And finally, I have some sweatshirt fleece. You could also just use a bath towel or a couple kitchen towels. Now, if you're going to use fleece, the batting, or the sweatshirt fleece, you're going to want 2 layers. If you're using the flannel, you're going to want 4 layers. If you're using a really thick bath towel, I would just do 1 layer. And if you have some pretty thin like dish towels, do 2 layers. Then you're just going to need a fabric of your choice. I went to my big pieces bin, and as you can see, I have plenty to choose from. And today I just chose this cute sushi print. I'll also be using my sewing machine with matching thread. Today I'll just be using cream and my iron and ironing board. So let's get started. So the first thing I did was make a cardboard template. Now this measures 4.5 inches by 6 inches. And I have 2 layers of my sweatshirt fleece. Now I'm going to keep it so that the right sides are together, because you will see the print through your burlap at the end, but if you don't care, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to line this up on my piece of fleece and cut it out. Just like that. And I already went ahead and did it to my burlap and my piece of fabric. So next, with my 2 pieces of fleece, I'm going to take my piece of burlap and lay that over top. And then with the right side of my fabric facing down, I'm going to lay that over my burlap. And then you just want to pin this together. But I'm going to leave a 2-inch opening here at the top. And then I'm just going to stick 1 pin on the rest of the sides, just to make sure that nothing moves. So now I'm just going to take this over to my sewing machine, and using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm going to start right here at this pin and backstitch. I'm going to sew all the way around, and I'm going to stop at this pin and backstitch. And I like to go over that backstitching 2 or 3 times, just because this is a lot of material to pull through that little opening. I'll see you over at the sewing machine. Alright guys, now don't freak out. It is a different fabric. Your eyes aren't going wonky. I just have a few swap outs here. But like I said, I'll be using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I bumped up my stitch length to a 3 because this is pretty thick. I'm going to backstitch 2 or 3 times here at the beginning. And then just keep sewing. So when I'm about a 1/4 inch from the edge of my project, I'm going to stop with my needle down. And my presser foot actually has a little notch right here that's a 1/4 inch away from my needle. I'm going to lift my presser foot and spin. And then just keep sewing. So I'm coming up to my final pin, so don't forget to backstitch. Just like that. And I left my opening open. So now we just need to turn this right side out, and you want to go through your fabric layer and your burlap layer. But before that, I'm going to clip my corners. And now we can turn this right side out. So I just like to go to one of the bottom corners and flip it through. And you just kind of want to be careful around the burlap. You can kind of see that it's already fraying, but it should be fine. Next, I'm going to take my bone folder or a chopstick. I'm going to carefully poke out the corners. And then I'm just going to grab my ironing board. Now actually I got a comment on how I made my ironing board here. I do have a regular ironing board. I just kind of use this just for my videos. But it's really simple to make. All it is a piece of wood, whatever size that you want. I then spray adhesive, I think it was about 1/2 inch to even 3/4 inch foam on top of that. And then I just wrapped it with batting. And then this material, it's a cotton material, and stapled it to the back. Nothing real fancy. So next, I'm just going to carefully tuck in my little opening. Just like that. And give it a press. Now what I like to do is just spray a little bit of water on the burlap side. Make sure everything's tucked in nicely. And then press. If you have troubles with your burlap curling, or when it comes off the bowl it has that fold in it, do the same thing. Just spray it with a little water first. You just want to make sure that any of these loose little tails are stuck in there. And now I'm just going to grab a pin and just close that little opening. So now we're just going to take this over to our sewing machine and we're going to close our little opening. So I'm going to use an 1/8 inch seam allowance. You just want to get as close to the edge as you can. I'm going to backstitch at the beginning, sew all the way around, and backstitch at the end. When I'm done with that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around in the center. Just like I did on this one. So I'll meet you over at the sewing machine. Alright, so this time I'll be using an 1/8 inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to move my needle over to the right. I'm going to backstitch at the beginning. And just keep sewing. So when I get to my edge, I'm going to stop with my needle down, raise my presser foot, and spin. And don't forget to backstitch at the end. Alright guys, so now I'm going to do the second row of stitching in the middle. So I'm just going to run my presser foot along that stitch line that we just made. And this time I'm going to move my needle all the way to the right. So it's about a 1/2 inch from the side if your needle doesn't move. So now I'm just going to backstitch. And then just keep sewing. So now we're coming to our turn. And I'm going to stop about a 1/2 inch away. And how I'm eyeballing this is when the line of threads here starts to hit my presser foot, that's when I'm going to turn. And then just sew. And don't forget to backstitch at the end. And just like that, you have a nice, washable, reusable Scrappy scrubber. Now I think these would make a perfect little gift. I think 3 or 4 of these with a nice ribbon around it would be perfect. You're not only cleaning out your stash box, you're making something very useful and very eco-friendly. Now after a while, I would imagine that the burlap probably will get frayed, but I'd much rather throw this away than any more plastic in the landfill. So I hope you give these quick and easy Scrappy scrubbers a try. If you like this video and want to see more of my videos, go down below and hit that big red subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. If you'd like to be notified as to when I post a video, hit that bell notification button. If you have a question about this video or any of my other videos, or would just like to leave a suggestion for a future upcoming video, leave me a comment. Check out my Etsy link down below if you'd like to see what I'm selling over there and support this channel. I also have my social media links down below if you'd like to follow me over there. I'd love to see what you guys are creating. And as always, thanks for watching. Happy stash busting. And I'll see you next time.